Welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time, take a look around and see if you like what you're watching, and from there we're going to move on. Thank you for the view. Today we are here in Fairmont, New York, and right in front of me is the Fairmont Cemetery. This cemetery is a very small cemetery. I've been going by this cemetery for at least the last 5 to 10 years, and I kind of wondered what was going on with it, so today I decided to stop and do some filming. I did absolutely no background research on this, but right here is the Fairmont Cemetery. Right here is the hometown heroes. This represents Joseph M. Lamana Jr., Navy, Vietnam. The first one we come up to here is Mary J. Fanchier, died March 27th, 1898. And right next to her we have Hattie, died July 21st, 1882, and she was aged 82 years old. Right next to Hattie and Mary, we have Harry Francer. Harry is the father, and I'm going to say that Hattie might be, she is a family member, I'm pretty sure, because usually when you see something set up like this, this is usually a family plot. So right here is Harry Franchier, died April 15th, 1896, and he was 86 years old. And as with most cemeteries, and unfortunately with the smaller ones, you tend to see it more often only because it's not that big and it's more noticeable sometimes from the road. And right here we have Harriet Phillips, wife of Harry Francher, died November 30th, 1873, aged 63 years maybe. Some ants right there. And right here we have a broken headstone, and next to it is an infant's headstone. I'm not sure if it's broke at some point or it just wore down, but it just simply says "Our Baby." And over here we have another one that's laying on the ground. Sometimes the weight of the stone after years, they'll do that, as well as vandalism. Here we have John P. Wind, born February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1814, in Lancaster, PA, died October 21st, 1853. There is some other scripture there, but it's, you know, it's been walked on, weathered on, and so on and so forth. And at some point it kind of looks like somebody may have permanently placed that in there. Or maybe not. Right next to John P. Wind is Morris A. Sweeting, died September 12th, 1887, was aged 53 years old. And his wife Sarah died in, her death year was never placed on there. But sometimes people, they'll die of a broken heart a year later. And right here we have Abigail S. Martin, born March 4th, 1800, died August 30th, 1878. Right next to them, we have Carol Ann. There's not a whole lot of information going on here. P. Whitlow. Nothing really much more I could read off of that, and I'm not even sure I pronounced the last name right on that one. But here you have the American flag, always standing up, always standing proud. We're going to go over here to this other section, like right in here, and then maybe we'll hit that area over there. That one right there. Here we have Sarah E. Hay, born August 14th, 1813, died February 5th, 1882. And another headstone, unfortunately, is pretty much unreadable. I'm going to try to kick some of the moss back here. Maybe we can get some information. This headstone belongs to a whole bunch of aunts at the moment. Israel Hay, born August 6th. And he was 92 years old in 9 days. In the same section, there's not really a whole lot of markers here, I've noticed, so I'm just kind of reading as I go. So, as I was saying, this cemetery is a very, very small cemetery. I mean, at best, you're probably looking at maybe 200 people. I mean, if anybody else knows any other information about the cemetery here, they can drop a comment. But also, if you have any ideas for cemeteries you would like for me to visit here in Syracuse, you can also drop a comment there. And this is Mary Thompson, the wife of William Smith, September 15th, 1841 until March 29th, 1887. And underneath there is a Smith name, strong base. This one doesn't really seem to have a lot of people, or any people but Mary. For some, that's the first time, and there's always a first time for everything. Right here we have Jane Plum Chamberlain from 1854 until 1939. I did find a marker. You are in the T section, which is over here by the fence. I wouldn't say that this cemetery necessarily gets ignored, but it doesn't really get paid attention to as well, as much as maybe it should. And I understand that there's a lot of volunteers, but if I had the time, I would definitely come here and do some other trimming that needs to be done. Like the tree right here, to kind of grow into the tree behind it. George F. Plum, 1804 until 1889. Eliza D. Kimberly was his wife. From 1815, she was born until 1986. And this headstone right here is the same as the one down there. There's just only one side, so there may be a reason for that. Like I said, I did no background work on this cemetery. The daughter of George Eliza Plum, born November 25th, 1850, and died December 21st, 1875. Look at the gorgeous, this is probably in the most literal terms that I can seriously think of. Look how perfect that very old-timey headstone is. I can clearly tell you now that I have never seen a headstone in my life like this, and it's very intricate. It's got almost kind of like wings coming out on one side and on the other. But I feel like maybe sometimes when Halloween companies, you know, like Trick or Treat or something like that, they may use this as a model because this would be perfect. But as far as anything else goes, this headstone belongs to a person called Charles. I am not sure if it's the first or last name, but there is no other information on this headstone to let us know otherwise. And on the back of it, oh, it looks like it was broken at one point. And there's a name maybe here. This person was born September 13th, maybe, 1838, and died June 18th, 1872. I'm not really sure. I can't make out that name. And right next, look at the gorgeousness of these stones. I'm kind of all giddy like a little kid. Here we have George I. Sherwood, 1865. And on this one you see there's no death here. Underneath him is his wife Viola. She was born 1862 and passed away in 1893. And on this headstone, unlike the other ones down in this aisle, it actually has several different names here. So there's the people that are here are probably some of them might be buried in here or right along here. We're going to find that out though. Here is Isaac Sherwood from 1823 until 1904. Charlotte, his wife, 1828 until 1904. And right next to Isaac and his wife, we have Daniel H. Sherwood from 1860 until 1864. And on the front of it, all you see for a name is the nameplate Sherwood. Here we have Grace E. Sherwood. So this is the Sherwood family plot. And we're here at the Grace E. Sherwood, 1894 until 1972. George I. Sherwood from 1893 until 1858. And right here is the other separate headstone, Viola. So more than likely Viola may have been the mother and George may be the father. Coming over here we have our Dante died September 9th, 1864, aged 11 years and 7 months plus 10 days. And right next to him is his mother and father. And over here we have the Plums. We have Maria S. Plum, born 1843 until 1903. Mary A. Plum from 1834 until 1968. Edward C. Plum, 1848 until 1898. Julia M. Plum from 1844 until 1899. And right next to the family headstone, we have individual headstones. Here is Julia, which is the last name I just read. And Edward, the first one I read. So The family's plot would start from Edward, Julia, Maria, and Mary. Let's see who we have right here. There's nothing really readable. Martha Snyder. Yeah, Martha Snyder, Martha E. Snyder, born 1859 until 1945. Charles I. Snyder from 1860 until 1939. Next to him is George E. Snyder from 1884 until 1893. And right next to George is Elmer. Elmer was born in 1892 and passed away in 1892. Elmer was an infant. And right over here behind this tree we have a headstone kind of sitting here all by themselves with no visitors. Let's come over and say hi to Ezra Whedon from 1855 until 1897. Rebecca Drake from 1859 until 1934. George F. Drake from 1874 until 1952. And right beneath that is the family moniker, Whedon. Right next to them, probably, I'm not going to say this is vandalism. I'm going to go ahead and say this is just time taking its toll. This belongs to George Drake, 1874 until 1952. So we have George, Rebecca, and Ezra, family members. And on this one we have mother, father. George would be the father, Rebecca would be the mother. And then you have Edward. I think this is a separate family plot. I think this may belong to the Gaylord family. Edward P. Gaylord, 1834 until 1895. There are several different names here. We're going to read them. This is Hubbard M. Gaylord, born November 7th, 1808, died October 8th, 1890. Beulah C. Parsons, wife of H.M. Gaylord, born March 14th, 1811, and passed away, died April 19th, 1891. And this would actually be a partial military stone, as well as a regular civilian headstone. I'm not sure. I say that for both ends. I'm not sure if other family members that Gaylord had were also in the military, but this gentleman was a soldier in the Civil War from 1861 until 1865. And right here on this side is Greenville M. Gaylord from 1842 until 1899. Louis of Orandel, his wife, Louise O. Crandall, his wife, born 1842 until 1918. And I'm not really exactly sure if I got all four sides of this, so we're going to swing back here. Nope, there's nothing there. And here is the mother. Right there is Edward. And here is the father. I found another really interesting headstone. This is a really cool place. Check it out. This one is just as cool as that one that you saw earlier in the video. But this one belongs to Gabriel Fish. Born, let's see, there's not, you can't really read a whole lot there. November 5th, 1881, and can't tell really when she died. But next to her would be her husband, Homer Fish, born September 5th, 1875, died 1888, May 4th, 1888 maybe. And on top of her, you know, being weathered and winded and throughout the years, a lot of these headstones are beginning to fade away, and that means the information that's on that headstone about those people in said grave disappears. So if you guys want to know why I do cemeteries and record stuff, this is the reason why. Right here we have W. Adelbert Fish from 1852 until 1928. Also with his wife J. Anna Fish from 1859 until 1922. He outlived her by 6 years. And here's Adra Whedon. We did this one already. This is Sherwood. This is Josie M. died. There's not a whole lot of reading going on in a lot of these older ones, so and right behind them, see, these are really cool too. I've noticed a lot. I've learned something about this right here. This symbol right here means like a unity, a shake between people. Sometimes in like different countries, if there's a wall between one belief and another belief, and the people can't be buried together because of that, sometimes they will use this symbol and connect the two people that are buried. And right here is John Sherwood. Died April 5th, 1883, aged 52 years old. Right next to him, you have his wife, Lucy Viola, wife of John Sherwood. Died April 16th, 1898, and she was aged 52 years old. And right next to John Sherwood, you have Mary Sherwood. See, there's not a whole lot to read here other than I'll start where it says Sherwood died June 13th, 1855, and was aged 32 years and 10 days. And for the last part of the Sherwood family, we have Matthew Sherwood, born December 30th, 1817, passed away 1886. He was 69 years old, 8 months and 26 days, and he was married to Betsy Porter, or maybe Betsy was married to Matthew at one time, or maybe Matthew was a different family member. So I misread that. This is Betsy Porter, the wife of Matthew Sherwood, born November 10th, 1821, died February 17th, 1886. And she was 65 years 3 months and 7 days old. And right beneath her is the family name. This family had a lot of Josephs and Marys. This is probably the matriarch and patriarch of the family. So we'll go here. We'll come right back to here. This is Joseph M. Sherwood, February 23rd, 1854. August 28th, 1933. Mary, his wife, was born August 23rd, 1857 and passed away December 12th, 1903.